Welcome to the SVG-TV News for Friday, May 29th. I am Colin with the details. In our lead story this evening, a 10-year-old boy of Richland Park was chopped to death today, allegedly at the hands of a close family member. Dead is Jamari Phillips, who reportedly sustained multiple chop wounds to the head and neck. The circumstances surrounding the incident are not known at this time. Video footage obtained by SVG-TV News shows the alleged perpetrator in the back of a police pickup truck who could be heard screaming, asking Jesus to rebuke them. According to reports, he was shot in the leg by the police after he responded to them in a violent manner when they tried to take him into custody. The 10-year-old's death brings the country's homicide count to 16 for the year thus far. St. Vincent and the Grenadines recorded its 26th case of COVID-19 today, following the receipt of 114 PCR results sent from the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA. There are now just 2 Royal Caribbean Cruise Line members repatriated on the Vision of the Seas without PCR results. These results should be received by tomorrow. A news release from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said RCCL crew members who tested negative on PCR will be allowed to disembark and continue strict quarantine at home. There are now 12 active cases of COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 14 persons have already recovered. A total of 26 COVID-19 cases have now been recorded. All of the active cases are in isolation. The Health Services Subcommittee of NEMO urges the public to support all persons who have been placed in mandatory quarantine as we work together to ensure there is no further spread of the COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. With another holiday weekend upon us, Minister of Health Luke Browne is encouraging Vincentians to continue to adhere to all health protocols recommended to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in the country. The health minister said now is not the time to become complacent.
We continue to encourage an individual to be prudent in the way in which he or she conducts his or her life, and to act according to the circumstances. We do continue to advise the standard to give the standard advice of making sure that you wash your hands, and then the other things to go with it. The physical distancing is still in place as an advisor in terms of advice, and we also recommend other precautions appropriate to your setting. I think that the ministry is on an ongoing basis is to give information to persons on what should be done in particular settings, and we're just asking them to follow that guidance.
Grade 5 students are now expected to return to school next Wednesday, June 3rd, based on a memo sent to educational institutions on Thursday by the Ministry of Education. On Wednesday, President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, told SVG-TV News he received information from reliable sources about the decision, which they are not happy with, as they were not consulted. Robinson said he doesn't understand the rush to get these students back into the classroom, and said the ministry should rethink the decision, noting that the union will be holding an emergency meeting to discuss the matter further. Today, SVG-TV News took to the streets of Kingstown and spoke to some parents about the ministry's decision to have more students return to school, which they disagreed with, noting the risks involved.
My concern is that keep the children at home for a while, you understand, and think the thing is, if it do over, you understand, but if it didn't do over and they have a cure for it, then probably they could take a chance and let them go back, but otherwise than that, we didn't have a cure for it. So just let it be for now. It's a good thing going back to school, but in the situation of this COVID-19, you don't know who have it from who don't have it. So when you get the children exposed to the COVID-19, it will hard. You never know if they will go and catch it, go to the school, the vehicle that they ride to go to school, you don't know who have it. So, I mean, they want to learn, they want to get the education, but they are towards the COVID-19 thing, which is a dangerous thing for the whole nation.
Well, I think the children should stay home because the coronavirus pandemic, we ain't control the population.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I would say the same thing too. Because the minute the school open, next thing things start to get things.
Next thing school open, the things start to spread and I don't know whose children come from different home had the sickness. So I go stay with the children them stay home for a while.
I'm really settled for a while and watch this sickness that going about because you ain't know who have it and you can't allow your kids like that. But what they are doing now, like giving them lessons over on the internet, that's a very good thing that they are doing.
Well, I think the corona done, so I think they should go to school yet. They feel they should stay home still, you know what I mean, because, you know, no sending them out, they can just make this thing go up back again to a certain numbers again. Because, you know, children always want to touch, play with them friends, you know what I mean, putting their hand in their face, in the mouth, you know what I mean. So I feel they should just hold back on it.
Fish vendors at the Kingstown Fish Market are seeking financial support from the government to cushion the effects the COVID-19 pandemic has had on their sales. The vendors complained that they are selling at a loss, noting that their main customers, which are from the tourism sector, have been hit hard by the pandemic. The vendors said everyone else is receiving financial support from the government and they feel neglected.
The street vendors and them ain't paying no money like we in the fish market contributing back to the government. Because sometimes all by the week tell me sometimes we end up and pay $500-600 just for we. The street vendors and them ain't paying that, neither the cartman and them. So we want to know how the street vendors and them and the cartman and them getting back something from the government, and we as vendors and fishermen, they ain't looking up on us.
It's still very slow because I mean we had the corona and everybody talking about staying apart and staying indoors, so it's very hard on us, very hard on us. So we realized government get some money for the stimulus packages, and then we as vendors, they give all the street vendors, and so what about us?
And it's very rough because, like, for instance, we used to have outside sales, like people from Beckway used to come and buy fish from us, like the mustic boat, they usually buy from us, and now it's slacking down because of this disease that in.
When the week done, we can't get no money to take home to the family. We just had to pay back the fish, the market, everything, because every day we use this stall, we have to pay at least $80-90 to the government, and at the end of the week we ain't getting back nothing. So if it could just come and help us, even at one blue moon, it can contribute something to us, we have no problem.
We've been trying and things to just keep our mouth closed, because we thought we heard the Prime Minister say that he had thing for fisher folk, some packages in place of fisher folk. But as far unfortunately and things, so we found out later that there's nothing there for us. And we see even the cat people on the street alone, you know, getting things, and we are getting nothing. So I want to know what if the government can do something for us, right?
As part of the government's COVID-19 stimulus package, vendors registered with the Kingstown Town Board are expected to receive $200 for 2 months, while pushcart vendors are expected to receive a one-off financial assistance of $300. Fisherman's Day 2020 has been postponed to a date to be announced. This was announced in a news release from the Fisheries Division in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. The release said the postponement is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, no further details were provided. The Fisherman's Day activities are held yearly to recognize the work and contribution of fisherfolk to the country's economy. A good hygiene, respect for the public, discipline, and a quest for continued development were just some of the qualities which the 105 recruits of the RSVG police force were encouraged to develop as they took their oath as police officers to serve and protect in accordance with the Police Amendment Act 2018. On Thursday, the Police Training School held its 38th passing out parade at the Victoria Park, where several awards were handed out. Malcolm Hazelwood took home the lion's share of the accolades as he seized the Best Recruit, Best at Police Duty Subjects, Best at Multidiscipline Subjects, the Dr. Cecil Cyrus Trophy, and the Baton of Honor, as well as the Commissioner's Trophy. Norisia Shallow captured the Commandant Award, second place, with Keandra Patterson seizing the Chief Instructor's Award. The awards for Most Disciplined Recruit went to Raldine Howe. Most Improved Recruit was Cuthbert Springer, and the recruit who was the best at sociology was Keelrick Franklin. The recruit who was the best at psychology was Roselle Charles, while the best at giving evidence was Jimroy Haywood. The best female recruit at physical training went to Kenya John, while Daphne Simmons captured the award for the best male recruit at physical training. Best at drills was Courtney Pompey. Commissioner of Police Colin John told the new officers, that discipline and a desire to learn are key to success.
You must be disciplined. Discipline is a very wide and very encompassing word. Discipline is very broad. It includes grasping knowledge. First of all, you must be willing to learn. You must obey your seniors. You must pay attention to what they are imparting to you so that you will be able to grasp that knowledge. You must be punctual when coming to work. Your punctuality can literally determine if a person lives or dies. So you must be punctual. You must also be at work when you're supposed to be at work. I've seen that some persons are trying to deviate from the general.
Delivering the feature address was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who also highlighted the importance of discipline in the development of good policemen and women. The Prime Minister further told the officers that their journey has just begun and encouraged them to learn from their superiors.
Instructions. Don't underestimate the experience and knowledge which a policeman and policewoman gain over time. I want you to appreciate that. And that indeed, though you have come out of the course, don't for one moment think that after 6 months you really know what policing is all about. You have just scratched the surface.
Prime Minister Gonsalves expressed confidence in the abilities of the new officers to the RSVG police force to do great things.
I have very high hopes for you. I saw reports when you were recruited. I saw reports on every single one of you. Which schools you went to, where you're from, how many subjects you got. And I'm satisfied that you have all the makings to be an excellent police officers. It's now up to you. And please, just be the best you can be. I thank Almighty God for you. I thank you that you have decided to serve on the front line of law and order. The opportunities to
The Central Water and Sewerage Authority said it has now been forced to implement legal water restriction measures which, if found in breach, customers can have their water disconnected. This is in addition to water rationing measures implemented by the company, which says it is operating at 35% capacity at its 5 major water supply systems due to the ongoing drought conditions. At a news conference this afternoon, Chief Executive Officer of the CWSA, Garth Saunders, said that the persons being targeted for disconnection are those who use water for non-essential purposes in light of the present situation.
CWSA is advising the general public that properties found using water supplied by the CWSA for the following purposes will be subject to immediate disconnection: washing a vehicle with a hose, watering a lawn, hedge, garden, farm, ground, or recreational field, pressure washing using a hose, watering a roadway, pavement, garage, or path, filling a swimming pool, filling a leaking or overflowing storage tank, or any other activity requiring considerable or excessive use of water. The CWSA further advises that any person who contravenes this subsection of its water supply regulations commits an offense.
Saunders used the opportunity to encourage persons to activate their hurricane water storage plan with the season starting in 2 days' time. Addressing the water situation in the Grenadines, Saunders said that they continue to distribute water in a timely manner to all residents.
We routed a lot of our pipelines, we've reduced our river crossings, and most importantly, we have increased our storage. One of the main misconceptions of this water shortage situation we're experiencing, persons seem to think that, well, you don't have enough storage. Why hasn't CWSA increased storage? I think first of all, we need to understand that storage is only part of the water supply equation. The storage part of it can only be effected if there's available water to be harnessed. That's the first thing you need to remember. So storage can only take you so far. So in St. Vincent, we have, over the last 12 to 14 years, we've increased our storage capacity from 3.6 million gallons to 5.4 million gallons. And we've done so by investing. Since the Windward Water Supply project in 2006, where we invested $23 million, we've invested a further $24 million.
The CWSA CEO says he remains hopeful that there will be a gradual improvement in the rainfall patterns and water supply in the coming weeks.
In the coming weeks, 1 or 2 days a week of rainfall would help us to bounce back quickly, because our system is fairly resilient, and we just need 1 or 2 days of rainfall, and then I think we'll be back up to 60-70% capacity. It wouldn't happen right away, but it would happen within a day or two. So we are just anticipating rainfall. We expect some rainfall later this evening and maybe on the weekend. That's what they say, but we are hoping, so let's hope and pray that the situation increases, not just in St. Vincent but across the Caribbean, because our neighbors are also suffering as well.
As it relates to providing water to schools, CWSA's engineer Bernard Maloney said that students are also asked to use water carefully at this time. Opposition MP Daniel Cummings said that the Central Water and Sewerage Authority, CWSA, has no reason to say that it cannot provide half of its customers with a daily supply of water in light of the drought conditions. On Wednesday, the CWSA announced that it is no longer able to supply over 50% of its customers with water 24 hours a day, as is usually the case, because the drought conditions affecting the country have significantly reduced the operating capacity at 5 of its major water supply systems. The company noted that it has joined its neighbors Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, and Barbados in implementing an extended system of water rationing to try as far as possible to achieve an equitable distribution of water during a 24-hour period. Speaking during a virtual meeting last evening, the opposition MP said the CWSA had a proposal a long time ago to ensure that, whether in dry season or not, there will be a continuous supply of water for customers.
But I want to tell you that the CWSA over the last 10 years or so has reduced its capital expenditure to almost zilch, just so that they look good on the books. They have not been investing in plants. They have not been investing in transmission mains. We have surface water that is limited, that is water in the streams. In the dry season, it's limited. But we have an abundant supply of groundwater in the Rabakai area at relatively low depth.
Cummings, who once served as the head of the CWSA, said the company needs to invest in wells to maintain water supply even in the dry season.
It has to do It's a drill a well. And I ain't talking about that. That's another tip for that. But a simple well, relatively shallow, pump the water up, very little treatment, perhaps aeration, and pump it into the system. You have the system linked from Georgetown, and ideally they should have it linked all the way back on the leeward side, so that during the dry season there's no reason to be telling people you're only supplying 50%. You have the resource here.
The opposition MP said that when it comes to water on mainland St. Vincent, there was always more water than needed, and if the proper structures were in place, there would be no need for water rationing.
Mainland, when it comes to water, does not have a deficit. We always have more water than we need on mainland St. Vincent. Fact. But they don't care. And in the Grenadines, we left plans there to put water, public water supply on all the main islands. Listen to me. When they want to tell Grenadians to come to Union Island for what, God knows. The Grenadines all have public water supply systems.
Liat's commercial passenger services will remain suspended until June 30th due to the continued impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Executive Officer Julie Reefer-Jones reported that most of Liat's network remains closed to commercial passenger traffic, and while some territories have announced a reopening date, there are still many protocols to be implemented, such as testing and mandatory quarantine periods, which will allow for the safe movement of passengers. She noted that the airline is closely monitoring the situation across the Liat network and will resume flights when it is safe for passengers to do so. Passengers booked during the extended period of suspension are expected to automatically have their bookings cancelled and will receive full airline credit for future travel. Passengers will be able to rebook as soon as the airline announces the resumption of passenger services.